today's lounge set, you will need the pattern for the shorts, which you can find in the link below. It's from eHow. And then a tank top that fits you pretty well. I chose this guy because I like the high neck. And then a fabric that's pretty cozy and stretchy for your lounge set. And once you've got all that gathered, we can start sewing.
Alright, so here I am putting the pattern together and cutting it out. I chose size medium. So you'll cut 2 from the front and 2 for the back. And you cut them right sides together. And step 1 is to place the 2 back pieces together and sew down kind of that front crotch line, and same thing with the sets on the back. And then you'll place right sides together and sew down that crotch area. Once those are sewn, I'm unfolding it here. The pattern calls for bias binding along the edge, but I really loved the look of it raw, so I just left it. But that option is there if you'd prefer like a cleaner finish. Then I'm placing right sides together. I'm going down just 10 inches to create that kind of dolphin cut on the leg, which I really like. So there it is sewn together. It's kind of got that dolphin tail hook. Same thing on the other side, and these guys are coming together. Next, I'm creating a loose seam around the waist. So I'm giving myself a wider stitch and sewing as close to the edge as I can. Now here I'm gathering the waistline. It's kind of a long process, but just want to get it a little smaller. Next up, the waistband. So I'm taking my 2 pieces and sewing them right sides together on both ends, just to create one big continuous circle. And then fitting it around my waistband. So you want to gather it to be the same size as this waistband, and then pinning it all the way around. Of course, matching side seams with the side seams of the waistband that we just created. Continue pinning and then sewing right sides together. This is also kind of a long process because of all of the ruching that we did. Just want to make sure it all fits and sits nicely. And the next step is to double fold. We're going to create a little tunnel for our elastic to sit into. And I'm just double folding all the way around and pinning. So it's going to give us a really clean line on the inside. And I'm just sewing the tunnel all shut. And then comes our last step, adding that elastic. I am measuring around the smallest part of my waist where I want my shorts to sit. I'm using this very elegant method of putting the elastic in, a paper clip, but hey, it works. And then you kind of shimmy it all the way around. I did forget to mention that at the end, when the elastic pops out, you will sew the elastic together, of course, and then do a final little top stitch over that hole where we entered the elastic in, just to close everything up. Now we're moving on to the top, using the remainder of my black cotton fabric. It's nice and stretchy. And I'm using this old tank top as kind of a template. So I'm not using a pattern for this one. We are self-drafting. So I'm laying this puppy out. Got the fabric folded over, as we will want to fold the top over. And we're doing the back section first, so cutting a little bit higher on that back neck. I'm also going to make my shoulder seams a little wider than this tank top, and my side seams a little wider. So I am leaving a little bit of space and not cutting directly out of the tank top because it's a little tight for me. So I want this to fit a little bit bigger. So I'm leaving a bit of a seam allowance. Now I'm cutting the front piece, and this will look almost identical to the back except for a bit of a lower neckline. So I'm matching that to my tank top. And voila, we have the front. Unfortunately, my phone died as I was recording, but in this step I am attaching right sides together at the shoulder seams and down the side seams. And here I'm creating a waistband. I wanted it to be kind of similar to the shorts and have an elastic waistband. So here I'm taking the waist measurement, and then I will just cut a long strip that is 2 times the width of my waist. And here I'm seeing if it fits. Perfect. Alright, and I'm measuring the armholes here and the neckline. So I'm doing the front neckline and the back neckline, adding those together. And then I go about cutting out my ribbing. So I'm doing a 2-inch width, creating the armholes first. And lastly, the neckline, again using 2 inches in width. And here I am pressing wrong sides together to create a little fold. And this is just going to help us sew later on if it's already pressed together. And then we're going to sew it right sides together. Here it is, right sides together. We'll turn it over and we'll have this perfect ribbing loop. This will be one of our armholes. Repeating this for the other arm and the neckline. And then we're going to start pinning it on. Again, I am matching my seams here. It does make kind of a thick, bulky part, but I didn't want my seam to be off to the side, so I felt it was worth it to put it right in the armpit. We're pinning this around, and then we're going to sew it all together. And this is a tricky bit since you're sewing 3 pieces of fabric together. So it does take a little bit of fidgeting and making sure everything is matched up. Giving it a press at the end. And I did both armholes and unfortunately did one the wrong way out. I was not paying attention. If I hadn't serged it, I would have redone it, but taking out serging is a pain. I double checked that I got the seam going the right way. And there's the top so far. And lastly, we will be adding that elastic and that waistband. So I'll be measuring the waist, taking it times 2. And I'll actually be taking off 3 inches just to create a little bit of a tightness at the waist so it pulls in. And then this is a method I kind of wish I had done for the shorts. I am going to sew the elastic directly to the waistband. I'm sewing it into 1/2 of the fabric that will eventually fold over and be sewn shut. So I'm sewing this elastic on, giving it a little tug, sewing, giving it a little tug, stretching it out. And you can already tell that the fabric is ruching in the back, which is perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. I did end up with a little bit of elastic left over, but I tried it on and it still fit over my shoulders and at my waist. So I just cut that extra bit off and went with it. Now we're sewing this little tunnel, we're covering up that elastic, and then we're gonna attach it to the top. First, a loose stitch around the waist to make a little gather. And then again, just as we did with the shorts, tightening up this waist area, front and back, until it's the same width as our elastic waistband. And then we're going to sew it all together. Again, matching up the side seams and sewing her on. And there's the final result. I love the neckline. I just think it looks so clean and professional, and with this soft cotton, it's really cozy. And then here's the outfit all together.
Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and then subscribe to my channel for some more videos. Cheers!